Hello, my name is Alex. I'm a chef. I've worked in 5-star hotels, Michelin star restaurants. But now I'm trying to modernize traditional Greek cuisine. Today, I think I'm going to show you something that probably you're familiar with. Yemista, stuffed vegetables. We stuff tomatoes and peppers, probably zucchini and eggplants, depending on the season, bake them in the oven, and that's it. Very simple, very comfort food. But today I'm going to use trahanas instead of rice. Trahanas is a type of pasta. It's cracked wheat boiled with goat's milk, then left to spoil and ferment. So it's very interesting and funky. Trahanas is made since the ancient times in Greece. It's a very traditional thing. And why not use it and use the sour variety so I can spice it up and make it sweeter with some fresh baby tomatoes and raisins. And that will give even more depth to the recipe that I'm going to show you today. So if you want to follow along, I'm sure you'll have your recipe with you, either printed or, I don't know, maybe on your tablet. And you can follow me, you can ask me questions. Let's do this. First, we'll start with the eggplants. We have to cut them down and then score them, and then scoop out the insides. Eggplants are right now in season, so that means that they're very tender and very sweet, so that's why I'm using them. Traditional Greek cuisine is all about freshness and always has to be tasty. Doesn't matter if you're doing it for friends, for family, for yourself, you have to make it taste great. So, for the aubergines, after I've scored them and scooped out their insides, I will just use a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, a lot of olive oil, and bake them in the oven. After half an hour, they're even sweeter and they are slightly crusty. But now I'm just gonna let them cool down and proceed with my trahanoto. It's like risotto, so we're gonna take exactly the same steps. Well, almost. To start, I'm gonna put the raisins in the pan. The raisins will get even sweeter after they're toasted in the olive oil, almost caramelized, and that will give more depth to the recipe. I'll add the scallions and just move them around, let them introduce to each other. Cut down the zucchini into strips and then into small cubes. It's very easy, just follow along, make an indentation so you've got a steady base, and then chop it down. Simple, right? Now, as I've said, it's quite similar to risotto, so we're gonna toast trahanas as well. It has to be toasted so it gets that acidity into the whole mix. It's not gonna be overpowering, but it's gonna add that funkiness because of the goat's milk and the fermentation process. The whole process is gonna take about 15 minutes. It's very simple, and the main goal is to keep all the vegetables fresh and almost uncooked. I'm gonna use a white wine, a Greek white wine, because we've got a variety of them. I'm gonna choose a fruity one, so I get a bit more fruity, citrusy notes in the food. The wine I used is called Kanenas. It's a bit dry, but very fruity. It's gonna add a lot of flavor. Chop up the eggplant, and that will help it almost dissolve. I'm not gonna cook it for long. The whole process is gonna take about 15 minutes. I will add the baby tomatoes that I've processed in a mixer. This has given me a sauce. Not a very thick one, but just good enough. But it's also very, very sweet because baby tomatoes are in season. I'm using Santorini baby tomatoes, the best cherry tomatoes that I know of at least. I'm gonna cover the whole mix with a little bit of water and let it cook undisturbed for a while. It doesn't need to be stirred as frequently as risotto, and that gives me enough time to prepare the rest of my vegetables. I'm gonna use peppers, or just a bell pepper, because that adds even more sweetness, but also that aroma. And the time lapse is all you needed to see, right? The sauce has thickened, and now I'm gonna add pepper, a lot of pepper, because this is for 4 people, so don't be afraid of it. Salt, again, enough of it. And some oregano, dried. There is almost no Greek recipe without oregano. I'll turn down the heat and add my cubed vegetables, zucchini, bell pepper, and chopped fresh mint. This is gonna help keep them fresh, vibrant, crunchy. What you want out of your vegetables that are in season. And now is the time to stir like crazy. This is the whole point. After you've kept everything as fresh as possible, now you mix them together and you get all that taste mingled. I'm just gonna put that aside, pick a nice plate, use a little bit of yogurt on the base, add the baked aubergines, and now start building up. This was it. This is my take on Yemista. I'm gonna add a little bit of scallion on top, a little bit of baby tomatoes, the ones from Santorini I told you about, that you have to try, of course. A little bit of feta, because what's life without some feta cheese, right? And to top it all off, a little bit of fresh olive oil. You need that, right? You always have to have fresh olive oil on top of a Greek dish. Hope you understand that Greek recipes are not about the recipes. They're about the feeling you get. They're about the company you choose to have to eat them with. Or the ingredients that you pick out of Greece that will make something very distinct and very, very flavorful. Hope you like it. This is my version of Yemista. Thank you for being with me.